Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Thank you so much for joining us. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Blue Sky, and Hive. And of course, check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Okay. Hello. Welcome. We're going to talk about some movies. My overalls look crooked. Or it could just be me. I'm crooked. It happens.
Are you talking? What?
Yes, I'm telling you, my overalls feel crooked.
That's because your face is crooked.
That is true. That I will give you for sure.
Mine is too.
My face is crooked.
I'm able to hide it with a beard. Your beard doesn't hide it as much.
Yeah, my beard's not working for me. That's my phone is probably
Your
weighing it
mustache
down.
is hefty though. Substantial.
It's substantial.
My hair's jacked up again.
Well, because you were supposed to go get a haircut, and what happened to your haircutting place?
They were closed because the landlord had locked them out.
That means they
So I got to find me a new
El
haircut place.
Rento.
Yes. I think that's what happened at the Dairy Queen down the
That's
street
what happened to our local Dairy Queen. They did not
Sounds like we live in the hood, but we don't.
pay their rento. No, but it's because we live in a very nice area, so the rents are not affordable.
Right? Maybe that's what it is.
Sorry. All right, so let's talk about some movies, babe. I need
bragging
you.
all like we live in a very nice neighborhood.
We live in a fairly nice city, right? I think we do.
Oh, now it's city.
Well, our
Oh,
area,
yours are neighborhood.
our neighborhood is nice. Our area is nice. Our city is pretty good. All right, tell me about this. I did not watch it. I know
What?
you sent me this movie.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna start there.
Oh,
I haven't watched it yet. I'm so curious.
all right. So the first one. Sorry, I'm starting to fall asleep before we
It
start.
looks like
the
it
show,
comes
but
out
I'm like,
this week.
Huh?
It looks like it comes out this week.
Well, I think it did limited release
Okay.
already, and then it was
And now
on
it's
premieres
wide,
and stuff. But yeah,
wider.
anyway, it's a Western called The Dead Don't Hurt that was written, directed, and stars Viggo Mortensen. And I'm picky on Westerns
Yeah.
because it's just I feel like the era of Westerns has been gone for quite a while, and we get a lot of Westerns, but most of them are straight to video type, straight to streaming, straight to DVD, whatever.
Yeah.
Most of them are cheap and cheesy. They don't offer a lot. It's rare that we get a really good Western.
Good.
And lately we've gotten a few of them that's been kind of cool to see. So this one, from the premise of the story, it basically follows an immigrant. He's like a
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. He's a Danish immigrant
Okay.
that falls in love with this independent woman kind of thing, and they start building a life together. And she's like, what the heck is this place she's got us living in? It's like this deserty looking area. And so it's not that stuff she's expecting.
Yeah.
But then he ends up he volunteers and goes off to fight in the Civil War.
Oh no.
And so majority of the movie is actually her trying to survive by herself. And of course, the Gatlin boys come a-calling, and she's dealing with that kind of shit.
Okay.
If you got that reference.
I got you. I got it.
But so she's dealing with people wanting the land. She's dealing with being a woman on the plains by herself.
By herself right now.
So you can imagine the different things she has to go through. A lot of that's kind of stereotypical. But what's interesting is this movie, it's really good. I was expecting, because it talks about him coming back, and because of stuff happening, it kind of turns into this tale of vengeance. So I thought it was going to be a little heavier on the vengeance stuff. There's actually not that much action in this movie until like the tail end. It's really more about their relationship first, building the relationship. It starts off kind of happy, but then it's that ideas of me and you fall in love and everything's great, and then you go to move in with me and you realize how I'm actually living, and it's not the nice area.
So you mean marriage?
Yeah, yeah. So she has to adapt to that, and then of course he volunteers to leave, where he's not drafted or anything. He volunteers to go, and she's left to take care of all the stuff that she didn't want in the first place.
Yeah.
And so she's dealing with all that, and then fighting for her own land, and dealing with
she's having to fight too.
Yeah, so there's this whole other level of stuff, and then him returning home to find out the things that happen, and her not knowing, because back then obviously you didn't have direct contact, so there's no way she didn't know if he was alive or dead or whatever, till he finally comes home. And then it's a whole nother section of them having to try to rebuild and rekindle their love, and dealing with disease. And It's a heavy movie, and it's a talkie, as you like to say.
Oh, it's a talkie.
But it is very good. It was a well done Western. I think Vigo does a really good job directing here.
Oh.
It was compelling. It was interesting enough that I was ready to see where it was going to go. And then when it finally gets to some of the meat of the stuff I thought I was going to get, and expected I didn't get, it plays it up a little more realistic, not on the Hollywood, just straight shootouts and all that kind of stuff outside, which we like, but they have their place. So it's not breaking down the raws of the genre of Westerns, but it's firmly cemented itself into one as being a good movie. So if you like Westerns, it is worth checking out.
Okay.
If you like Vigo, he's worth checking out. Just know that Vigo, there's a reason her name is first.
Oh, okay.
Because he's gone for a big chunk of the movie to the Civil War and directing. So he's there the whole movie. He's just directing most of it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, The Dead Don't Hurt. It's hitting cinemas. I think it's already on. Let me look real quick. Well, it hit theaters on May 31st, but maybe it was limited release. Or the thing you have was an original thing that maybe they changed and brought it up a week. So anyway, in theory, it's already in cinemas. So check it out.
Okay.
What else we got?
Next, moving in a completely different direction.
Oh yes, I think we're gonna be divided on this.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
We may not be.
This is the new Shudder.
Yeah, I think they do have something to do with it. It's like IFC Films and Shudder.
IFC and Shudder.
I think, yeah.
Okay. Well, then can we watch it on Shudder? Do you think?
I don't think it's on Shudder yet. I think it's in theaters right now, but it will be on Shudder.
You need to go watch this. First of all, look at the beautiful, picturesque mountains.
Yes.
But then it says, nature is unforgiving. A violent nature.
Yes, it's the movie In a Violent Nature. It's a slasher flick.
It is.
It's essentially a Friday the 13th movie with an artsy twist.
Yes.
If that's the easiest way to put it. Yeah. This movie has gotten a lot of mixed reviews of people either love it or they find it to be one of the most boring things they've ever watched. I don't know if you saw one person posted how they got just bored watching this movie.
Yeah.
And I can understand both views on this movie.
It's understandable.
It is an acquired taste in its execution.
Execution. Yeah. So basically, it feels a little bit like a what's its name story. What's his name?
Jason.
I was gonna say Jason. It feels like a Jason-esque story. You said that at the beginning.
Well, and I've been trying to find. I swear I read an article somewhere.
Was it inspired or something?
That the guy had pitched a Friday the 13th movie that didn't get made, and so he didn't make his own. But I have yet to be able to find that again. So I don't know if it's a different movie that I read that about, and I thought it was this one, or
it would make sense because
because this very much feels like this could have just been Jason.
Yeah, it does, but in the woods instead of a lake.
Jason's already in the woods.
This does.
Jason's not fighting in a lake. He's at Crystal Lake.
I know, but this has a lake too. Oh, it is Jason.
Do you think Jason's like an Aquaman movie?
Well, I just feel like he's so centered around the lake.
No, he's at the camp,
and at the end, he's like.
Crystal Lake is the campground.
Okay, well, this is not a campground. These are people. First of all, let's talk about this. Do not go camping in the woods. I'm sorry. Camping just seems when you have the ability to stay at a hotel.
It's so
it has
relaxing.
Running water and a nice bed and all these things. Why would you go spend that? There are bugs out there. And by everything we've ever seen, there are killers out there. Why?
It's relaxing.
No, until the killer's
peaceful. You get away from all the nonsense of the world and just get out there.
Killers
that's
in
not
the woods.
Killers though. That's Deliverance. That's
whatever.
Squeal like a pig.
There are killers out there.
But it's just that mentality of getting one with nature and getting out there. Like I used to be I used to be camping and fishing and hunting and all that stuff back in the day. And I love it. I do love camping. I think it's relaxing. I think it's a fun time to get away from all the electronics and the hubbubs of society. And also, if you're able to camp, you're able to hunt, and you're able to fish, you're going to be one of those people surviving when the apocalypse hits. This one here will be one of the first to go because she won't be able to survive because she'll run out of a hotel, and the hotels won't be able to take her. And then she'll be outside like, what's going on? How do I survive? I can't find my flip-flops.
That's true. I do need a flip-flop.
So anyway, so the movie
there's
basically
like 3,000 deaths in national parks.
There's way more than that everywhere else.
Oh my gosh!
I don't camp in a national park anyway.
I don't know. I
camp in the real woods.
It's like, what are the chances?
My
of
dad always
being
had
killed
deer
by
leases and stuff, so
sleeping?
we'd go out and camping
it's
at the deer
kept.
lease, and that's just like on random forest properties and stuff. That's like you're driving down the highway and oh, here's the turn in. It's not like sanctioned by the park ranger, whatever. People are getting murdered at the state parks, and the park ranger stuff need to get better jobs.
Anyway,
basically,
sorry,
the premise
continue.
of this movie is is basically these group of people, and they while they're nosing around as these kids, teens, whatever do,
Oh Lord.
they find this locket, and they're like, "Oh, it's a pretty locket," so they take it. And of course, apparently, it was holding him where he was at, which causes him to rise with his whole purpose, trying to get this locket back.
Yeah.
And it has a little bit of a backstory to it, but they don't delve into it. One of the things I like a lot about this movie is it's a simplistic backstory that we don't spend a lot of time on. It's really just murders and killing, but the artsy twist nature of this movie is you're following the killer the entire movie.
Yeah.
You're seeing his perspective, or you're just with him, and there's no music in this movie whatsoever.
The problem there's two problems.
I think one of the problems you have is probably one of the things that I really like.
Okay.
Maybe both of them.
My main problem is some of the scenes are just too long and they drag out, and I think you liked it, but
I like it.
So we're watching him kill someone, right? And he's gonna
scene I love. It's so
he's gonna get rid of the body.
Long.
But we watched the entire process of him getting rid of the body for like 10 minutes. I feel like real life, watching him like.
He's using a machine. You're talking about that scene?
Yeah.
He's using a machine, so you're watching, and this machine is it's a wood splitter. It's a wood splitter. Because it pushes this big axe blade. And it splits things in half.
But literally at least 5 minutes.
And so I love it. It moves slow, and I was so happy. See, I love that kind of stuff because it gives me the vibe of we're literally spending time with the killer. We're watching him do this. We're not moving on. Could they have trimmed it and made the movie a little shorter? Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
But I like the uncomfortable nature.
It wasn't uncomfortable.
I'm not talking about
boring.
Well, but see, I didn't get bored. I'm watching it, enjoying the uncomfortableness of it, of just watching this slowly happen.
Was it disturbing then that I was not uncomfortable?
No, it's not. I didn't think it was a disturbing. When I say uncomfortable, it's that just having to sit here and watch this slowly unfold, as opposed to the cutaway to the next dialogue scene, and it's really making you stay there, and you're getting that visceral visual of this body splattering and seeing this thing move slow and knowing there's nothing this person can do about it, and it's the stuff is like when you watch a Friday 13th movie and you see Jason and he kills somebody. Then you never get to see him stack the body in the closet. It's going to fall out.
You don't get to go see him wash his knife off.
Yeah, and that's kind of
what we wanted. That's that other movie.
It's the Predator mentality for me. Is I enjoy the Predator when he's doctoring his wounds and actually doing prep more than him killing stuff.
I was saying it's going to be that other movie, but that was a funny one with that killer.
Yeah, Behind the Mask.
Yeah. Anyways, my other problem with this is the ending.
I had one issue with the ending, but there's a monologue at the end that's a complete waste of time.
And then some of the kills are funny to me.
The kills are fantastic.
They were really good and bloody. There was there's a couple that looked fake, but
I didn't think any of them looked fake. I thought they looked great. That one's fantastic.
You can tell it's a little
fantastic.
Blow-up dummy.
It's ridiculously over the top, but it's fantastic.
Over the top dummy.
I love this movie, but I
enjoyed it.
I do agree with you. I did not like the ending, but my issue was a different issue than yours. You didn't like that nothing happened. I didn't like the long monologue that served no purpose.
Well, that's to me being bored. But again, those were two my moments of boredom.
But here's my theory is I think the entire point was to build you up that something was going to happen. And then like real life, nothing happens. And it's just like.
But then again, we don't really know what happened to that person either. What ends up happening to them in the end because of why they had to stop and do all we really don't know.
The way this movie is set up, you can easily do it over and over and over.
For sure.
I love the movie, but that's one of those that I totally understand the boredom. Yeah, I understand people not liking it.
Just long.
Because there's moments where you spend 2 minutes just watching him walk.
Yeah. But
to me, it's like I said, I'm on his piggyback ride with the killer, if I'm going to go on the road with the killer, I want to do what he's doing. If they move slow, we're going to go slow, you know. And it was what I expected, knowing the tone of where it was going.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the kills to be as good and as bloody as they were.
They were really good. I did enjoy that part.
And I like that there's very little story. It gives you just enough to have him a reason to walk around. And I don't have to spend as much time with these annoying people, because I don't think the rest of the cast, a lot of them were that great in their performances.
I don't know who some of these people are.
It didn't matter because we're not spending time with them. We're with him the whole time.
And I like a little bit in a way. This one's grounded in somewhat reality. I mean, I guess there's
still some of the crazy kills, but
yeah, but you know, there's no like mystic like Freddy came back. You can never kill him or
there is. That's what the locket thing is. It's locked him into his grave or whatever. But I get what you're saying.
But we don't go too far into that. It's just like, let's just see a dude walking, killing people.
In the defense of most of those films, being Friday the 13th and Halloween, for instance, they were not supernatural when it started.
Well, they went all woo-woo.
They developed on that because, you know, the first Friday the 13th movie isn't even Jason.
Right, it's Jason.
Until you get him jumping out of the water.
Until he's like...
And Michael Myers was just a crazy person walking around. Well, it wasn't until later when they decided to make him unstoppable. And anyway, excuse me. I love this movie. It will be on one of my favorite lists this year, but it also might be one of the ones that gets bumped if I need a space.
Yeah. The curious thing about all horror movies, is what I find interesting too about these town folk too, is that they know. So why would you not warn people? Like, hey, there's a crazy person out there.
Who knows?
The townspeople knew.
Yeah, but they didn't really deal with any townspeople.
Just that one guy.
Yeah, but most of those people.
He's like, what did y'all do?
Well, that's what I'm saying is if nobody's going to think to tell anybody to scare them off, if they don't think there's being an value, you know what I mean? No, plus, if you scare everybody else, you never get any tourism in your area, and then you don't make any money. You can't sell nothing. Everybody's going to say, stop going to that town.
Yeah.
I did like the look of the killer, too. I think they had a cool mask, even though you don't get to see it that much. That's the only downside, I think, to me for the movie was about outside of that monologue was because you're following him most of the time, you don't get to see him that often in his face. But I love this movie. I thought it was most excellent, but it is one that I completely understand if you completely hate it or you're kind of on the fence with it. I think it's going to have everybody a different opinion.
It's just there's some moments that I thought were just really long.
It's definitely an acquired taste, and it's going to hit everybody in a different way.
Yeah.
I've seen some outstanding, amazing reviews for it, and I've seen people rip it to shreds.
Yeah.
So
this is like for horror fans only. This was like beautifully slow and gory mess. It is slow.
That is all. But I mean,
if you're down with that,
but you also don't like a lot of real life stuff in movies, or maybe you do now, but you didn't used to anyway. Yeah. Where if it was like the story turned into more real life stuff, or if it felt like it was just staying too real too long, you lose interest. Because I always felt like you're one of those that wants that fantastical Hollywood experience most of the time.
Yeah, I want it stepped up a notch. Like I think that's why, for example, now that you meant that, it reminds me of the movie with.
She's putting her thinking hands.
The guy from Star Wars and Black Widow. I'm sorry, I forgot everyone's names. Black Widow and Kylo Ren, where they're married in that real life fight of the husband and wife. Yeah. That movie drove me batty.
The movie is fantastic, but
because that's too real life. I'm like, somebody just smack somebody and let's go.
Yeah, but so that movie is one of those that's like
it's a talkie. It's emotional.
But it's a showcase of acting performances.
It is, but it's too real life. So stuff like that does drive me batty because I'm like, in real life, somebody's just gonna smack somebody.
I also think there's something to be said about like the slasher element that you do like, which is more stuff like Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
there's more.
But I mean, even stuff like I like it.
I know you do. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you look at the stuff you're drawn more to, you like either more the fantastical nature or you like some fun to it.
Yeah.
You know, like this movie is not a fun movie. It's just you're just
there's
watching
nothing quippy. Like in Scream, there's a quippy line here.
And music does that a lot too.
Yes.
You watch. I think the lack of music in the morning I love because it does.
It's very silent. You hear a lot of that background, the crunching, the birds.
I think that makes it a little more creepy as well because
you know
these are the things you hear right before. In the other movies, you hear right before they get killed. You're hearing it while you're just on a walk with this guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas you go and watch
We're the Dream
Jason or Halloween. No.
I know you're like.
I hate that song with a passion.
Really?
That Dream Warrior song is such a trash. I love the movie, but that song is trash. I just want to punch people that sing it. But when you add those iconic music from Jason and Michael Myers and that kind of stuff, it changes the tone of the movie. It makes it cinematic. It makes you, oh, Michael's coming.
Exactly.
You know, Freddy's coming. Jason,
when you get
whatever.
That,
this guy's you're like
nothing.
Somebody.
I was about to start singing X-Men again.
Moving on. And Violent Nature is in theaters now. Let's move on before I have to.
I hear that song all the time. Okay, tell me about this, because this.
I watched a lot of stuff.
First of all, this poster is amazing.
Isn't it?
Look at this. Let me make it big for everyone. It's fantastical. There's this dinosaur. Let me put my mouse over here so y'all can see. There's this dinosaur dragon. This lady with this wolf with the six tails or whatever. And while they can fly, whoa, we're like flying in the clouds.
That big thing over here in the corner looks like a transformer.
Yes.
That's a big marble statue lion. It comes to life and starts attacking everybody.
This thing is fantastical.
And the movie itself is fantastical as well.
Is it?
Creation of the Gods 1, Kingdom of...
Oh, this is part 1.
Whatever. Yeah, this is a trilogy.
Oh, wow.
I believe the entire trilogy was shot at the same time.
Oh.
It's basically...
This is Kingdom of Storms, part 1.
It's... I'm always hit and miss with these Asian fantasy ones because sometimes their CGI is not great. There are moments here too, there's a similar thing where the CGI is not always that great, but more often than not, it is great. And so what you're dealing with is basically the typical, tyrants that's running the kingdom, but they wants to be an immortal and they're killing these other people. And so there's people trying to stop this person from seizing power and, all that kind of stuff. And it dives heavy into a lot of the Chinese mythology of these characters. Like I know in the show years ago, we talked about these 2 movies, animated movies, Neza and Jing Yang, I believe it's Jia Yang, which are 2 characters. And those 2 characters in live action in this movie.
Oh, okay.
And of course you get the white fox with the multiple tails, which is like this deceiver god kind of thing. And so if anything, I want to say it's kind of a Lord of the Rings through Chinese fantasy culture and mythologies and stuff. It's that element of levels of things. But it's really good. It's really well done. It's interesting. It took me like 4 days to watch it, but it was because every time I started watching it was at night, and I was either got tired to go to sleep, or somebody would, like, one point I sat down and it's just comfortable, middle of the day, I'm gonna sit and watch it, and as soon as I hit play, the phone rings, and then I'm on phone the rest of the day. But it's kind of it's adapted from the novel The Investiture of the Gods, which was it's a 16th century Chinese novel.
Wow, okay.
A major influence on a lot of vernacular of Chinese works and gods and demons during the Ming Dynasty. So you're dealing with a lot of that stuff. But there's dragons, there's magic, there's immortals, there's plenty of martial arts and so forth. And the armors and stuff they wear in this are completely badass. That movie you like with Chow Yun-fat, is it The Golden Emperor, The Golden Flower, Curse of the Golden Flower? Remember how they had all that people with the golden armor and stuff?
Yes.
It's that level of stuff, but even better looking.
Okay.
But a lot of it has, like this poster you had up, a lot of it has very gray undertones.
Yeah, I'm seeing
and so
it. It's very
if you look at some of the
the
pictures of the armor, they have like jade pieces instead of gold pieces inside their gold imprinted armor. So it's really cool. It was good enough too that I'm eager to see the next chapter. Okay. And it has 2 after credit scenes too, setting up the next chapter. I'm excited then.
I love this kind of stuff.
I do too, but like I said, I am usually hit and miss with the fantasy stuff because sometimes it gets too silly. Sometimes most of the movies they drag out too long, and when they have this many characters, a lot of times the movies make no sense. They're all over the place.
But
and sometimes it's lost in the translation.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just too much in there. They infuse so much.
Did you watch it in original language with subtitle?
Yeah, I don't think it even offered. I didn't look. I immediately just put subtitles. But because I put subtitles on everything now, I don't even change anything. I just put subtitles.
Just go for it.
But it's really, really good. I really loved it.
Does it have like the cool people flying in the air and good wire work and all that, or is it more?
It's not the standard people fighting aren't doing a lot of wire work, but there's magical people that are.
Okay, are
like
they flying
Nezha, when he's a little boy and he's got like these red cloaks that he uses to grab things at them.
Yes.
But he jumps and takes off running, and it's almost like he's stepping on little fire things when he's running and stuff. And
that was like in that other movie we saw too, with the guy that was trying to rescue the girl, that guy that had the thing, like he'd grab the cloaks and be like,
yeah, it's
so
that.
Cool.
And
I love that. I don't know if that's even real or not, but
Jia Yang or Jiang Zhang, whatever the other movie was, he's kind of like this water thing. So he'll do like this thing, and then it'll turn into water. And disappear. And,
okay. Do I need to watch those others to remember?
No, they have nothing to do with this.
But
they're just the same mythological characters.
That same person, but different story.
Yeah. Movies they're an animated. They're part of the Fan Xiong universe. They were creating animated movies, and
this
third one never happened.
They just so happen to be based on an actual character in this original manuscript.
Yeah, this is an adaptation of that.
Okay,
yeah, so
I'm excited.
A lot of these characters have appeared in a lot of different movies.
I gotcha, because it's actual based on their mythology.
Yeah, and they did.
I'm excited to watch this.
They shot a trilogy, and I believe, I think they shot them all at the same time, and I think the second two, at least one other one's due out this year, but it may be, I don't know, because a lot of times it gets released over there and then it comes here.
So who knows when we'll see it.
It basically, as this first film narrates the fantastic and fictitious version of the political fallout following the ascension of the last king of the Shang dynasty.
Okay.
So that's kind of what this whole movie is. The end of this movie. It has its ending, then it has a mid-credit scene that's kind of setting up something, and then it has an end-credit scene that introduces these whole new fantastical creatures that I immediately was like, oh, it's on next movie. I can't wait.
Because it says it's humans, immortals, and monsters.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a whole variety of stuff.
Oh, I'm excited.
So, but yeah, so it is available now on Blu-ray, DVD, and if you go to our website,
HollywoodMatrimony.com,
you can win a copy of it. So if you don't want to, I don't know. I don't think it's on Hi-Ya yet, but it will eventually be because it's one of their releases. So it probably will end up on there if you haven't seen it. I do highly recommend this movie. It was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it says based on the well-known classical fantasy novel in China. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm all about it.
You'll have to just watch it. Like I watched it in the theater, and it was so good on the big screen.
Okay, cool. Maybe you can set it up for me.
Jeez, what do you mean set it up for you? Just go turn it on.
All right, next, completely different direction.
Is this the last one?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I forgot what else we had.
We are going to the new Jennifer Lopez film on Netflix. The movie is Atlas.
Atlas.
And she plays the character Atlas.
How original. What's this movie about?
So this movie is about the future. And in the future, we have AI. The AI has decided that they are going to take out the humans, of course, not an original story.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me this movie is basically dealing with what we're dealing with in society today?
Correct. They're going to take out the humans because the AI are, I guess in his mind, the AI was being treated unfairly and they were always having to follow the order of the humans. And they're like, well, what if we tell the humans what to do? And so now we have an AI uprising. So the AI is played by, oh, you didn't write a review, did you?
I did not. I didn't get it right.
Lord have mercy. Simu Liu is Shang-Chi is the evil AI genius, and his plan is to liberate all the AI robot people and everything so that they can take over the planet. And Atlas, okay, her mom created it, and so now Atlas is fighting back to stop it.
She was there as a child and witnessed the uprising start.
Correct. So she's there to make sure he doesn't.
So she has a personal issue.
Yeah, she's fighting him. They're fighting each other. There you go.
Jennifer Lopez tentatively annoys me. I like some of her early stuff. I have like some of her recent stuff, like what is that movie? The hooker movie, Strippers or whatever it was. Not Ballers.
Oh, yes, the Strippers.
Anyway, I thought that was a great movie. It was way deeper than I thought.
Hustlers.
I like that movie. the one she did with Owen Wilson was fine. It was stupid, but it was a fine movie. But most of the time, what? What are you laughing at?
Marry Me.
I did Marry You, dummy.
We watched that together at Disney.
Disney,
World.
yes, we did.
And I watch it a lot. I've seen it probably 6 times.
That movie's not that
I've watched it.
I've watched it one
times.
time and I've moved on with my life.
Wow.
Anyway, I can't stand her as a musician. So I wasn't super eager to watch this movie, but you throw any kind of mech in there, I get a little more interested.
Yeah. And Simu Liu.
And this poster reminds me of Robot Jocks. So if you go look at the poster of Robot Jocks, you can see what I'm talking about.
Simu Liu, Sterling K.
I like
Brown.
him.
I mean,
it has a good cast outside of her.
Cast.
So it's like,
what's it called? Tell me again.
Robot Jocks.
Oh Lord. What is that about?
JOX.
Oh my. This is 80s. This is deep 80s. Oh yeah, the suits.
It's people wearing mech suits and fighting each other.
That's awesome.
It's a cheesy movie, but anyway, I decided I'm gonna go all in for this movie, and it was a Netflix movie, so I didn't have to go to the theater or stuff. And I'll have to say, despite it being a little cheese and it being what it is, I actually enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a good popcorn flick.
It was fine. Yeah, there was nothing. I mean, I think people were like, but it was a fine movie. I mean, it's not breaking the barriers of anything. It's not even an originally story, but it was fine. It was a good movie.
It was way more action heavy than I expected.
Everybody did a good job. You know, we do spend a lot of time with her, but there is some good action, like you're saying. There's some good fights and the suits and physical fights. And,
I mean, the mech suit she used looks basically like the ones they use in Avatar, which is fine because the one they use in Avatar looks like one they use in every other thing. So, but yeah, I found it. It's predictable on a lot of elements. There are some fun twists and stuff, and I think it runs a little longer than it needed to for this kind of movie, but it's a fun flick. It's to turn your brain off and just enjoy the ride. Because there's tons of action. I think most of the CGI is really well done. It's fun to watch. You get a little cliched cheese kind of at the end when they're wrapping everything up. And there's a little bit of throw your brain out the window and buy into what she can and can't do. Because, I mean, she does suddenly learn to do a lot of things a little bit quick, which is always an argument I have. But
it's also because she was with the robot.
I know.
The robot helped her.
You buy into a lot of the story of what it does. So they found ways to try to explain it away, even though it doesn't always believable. But it was fun for just a movie to watch on Netflix and have a good time.
I liked it.
I thought it was worth checking out.
It was fine. Yeah, nothing groundbreaking or anything, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I would watch it again.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't watch it again.
I would, but I like Jennifer Lopez in general.
You just like her because she's Hispanic.
In general, some things I don't like, but
I don't know how well it did, but it clearly feels like one of those movies that Netflix would probably try to make a series, a franchise out of. It has the possibilities to be a franchise with the way it ends and just the subject matter of what they can do with it. Yeah. They can do a lot of different things and keep it going with or without her.
True.
So the only way I would probably ever watch this again is if there's gonna be another one. I'll rewatch this one to watch the next one because that's what we do. But yeah, it's worth checking out.
There you go. I need to finish my Jennifer Lopez movie.
You don't need
journey.
To.
Well,
did you watch U-Turn yet? U-Turn's a good movie.
I don't know if I even had it on here.
No,
I'm just saying I don't know if we had it somewhere I could watch it.
Well, I used to have it, and then somebody borrowed it, so I don't think I have it anymore.
She's
not the star of the movie, but she has a smaller part in it.
I got to the
That's a Sean Penn movie.
Oh.
That is a movie. It's a great movie.
I might have seen it.
She's very chola in that movie.
That's the one you like?
Oh, yeah, U-Turn. Fantastic movie. I like her in it, too. She's sexy in that movie.
Okay.
Anyway. Atlas is streaming now on the Netflix.
Yeah. Poor Jennifer Lopez is having a hard personal life, I think.
Oh, yeah. Her life looks so rough.
Well, I guess her and Ben aren't doing too great.
Who knows? People keep saying that.
Supposedly, she's had low ticket sales and had to cancel her tour.
Well, that's been a bunch of artists lately have been canceling.
I don't think people want to get out anymore.
Yeah, honestly. I think the entertainment industry has just changed. Period.
Yeah, I think
because people aren't going like Furiosa.
Done different.
I believe If and Garfield beat Furiosa this weekend.
Garfield?
If and Garfield.
If.
Furiosa was number 3.
That's weird.
And I just don't think people are getting out. And I don't think a lot of it has anything to do with the superhero movie fatigue. I don't think it has to do with being anti-strong women. That stuff does exist and is a problem for a lot of things. I think people, especially after COVID, realize because we have so much streaming, things hit streaming so much faster. You can pay the premium access. If you want to watch a movie that's still in theaters, you can pay $20 and watch it.
That's still cheaper
and if you
than
pay
buying
$20
tickets.
and have 7 people at your house,
well, I'm just saying, tickets are what, 16, 17 a person now?
it depends on how you want to watch it.
It's cheaper to buy it here than to us go to the theater, drive there, park, deal with the dumb teenagers, buy popcorn, buy a drink.
And a lot of times when you purchase them like that, you have like 48 hours to watch it or something.
Yeah, and then
so
like you said, if you bring your friends over,
you have
and make it a potluck.
You pay a bunch of people over, pay $20, and 7 people watch the same movie.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome.
And the comfortable of your own home, you can watch it naked. You can.
Well, we built our own theater.
You can get busy while you're watching it.
Wow.
And not go to jail unless the person you're getting busy with was kidnapped and you brought into your home.
No,
That's
but I mean, you can. But now we know, and I think a lot of people realize, you can build a home theater for fairly cheap.
Yeah, I don't think the superhero fatigues and what people are talking about fatigue. I think it's the lack of wanting to go out in public fatigue.
Yeah, I just don't want to
because
go
there's
out.
just people aren't doing it as much.
Mm-mm.
And you can argue and say, well, but what about this movie made a lot of money? I mean, there's certain movies that are going to bring people out.
Yeah,
and
I liked Furiosa.
I love that movie. I thought it was
really
fantastic.
good.
It had its issues, but I thought it was fantastic. And I think it's sad. It got great reviews.
Yeah.
I haven't met a single person that saw it that didn't like it. So it's getting a lot of good word of mouth. It's just for whatever reason
People
it's
are
not
tired of the
connecting.
movies.
I saw somebody comment. I think I told you last week. One of the people that you like to call a racist, but they just like hard pass. But I'm like, okay, but what is your hard pass about? Is your hard pass because
it's a woman?
It's a woman, or is it a hard
Yes.
pass because you don't like Mad Max movies? Because that could be the case too. If you don't like those, fine. But it's just weird. I don't know. I don't know. You never know what's going to do well anymore.
We need to do a survey.
It used to be a case of you saw certain movies come out, they were going to do well.
Yeah, no matter what.
And now you never know what's going to hit. Anyway, let's
But the whole concert though thing too. Like you've been telling me about some cool bands that are coming, but I have no desire to go to a stadium with a bunch of crazy people. Because there's probably going to be a fight or somebody's going to shoot somebody. There's going to be, around here, there's going to be a tornado and the whole thing's going to collapse. I mean, I know that's doom and gloom, but I just have no desire to be around that many people in a confined space.
And then we have
but
people try to defend stuff by saying, well, look at the Taylor Swift stuff. Okay, it's a fluke of one person it's doing well for. Other people aren't doing that.
I think though too, that's like a bunch of girlfriends and moms and daughters bonding. It's not like if you want to take me to a rap concert, it's going to be a different crowd.
Yeah.
That are probably a little rowdy and drunk and.
Like I can't.
I don't.
Much. If you want to have that discussion, I don't get Taylor Swift. I think she's awful.
I don't either. I think she's horrible.
I think her music is horrible.
I'm very disturbed.
I don't have a problem with her as a person. I think.
Oh, I do. I don't. Like
I don't have a one way or another about.
I don't care.
But I think what she's done is impressive.
Oh yeah, very smart.
I think
business-wise.
it's badass that she got her own, redid her own, found a way to loophole to her own catalog again, and she did these things. I think smart business, all that stuff. I'm very impressed. But I think her music is trash. I have no interest in going to see the movie.
Probably like one song that I know of.
They even sent me the link to watch the concert film beforehand. I didn't even watch it at home for free. I had no interest, and I never will.
The thing that's really disturbing to me is when you see like these mothers taking their daughters, but these little girls are having like these hysterical fits. And I'm like, that kind of hero worship and adoration is very disturbing to see in a child. For a music person,
it disturbs me to see that in anybody, especially like children.
I can understand grown women throwing their stuff at Elvis, maybe, or whatever.
That's a different thing. That's a horny thing. That's not a hero worship thing.
But these little girls, like this one little girl was going to pass out.
Well, no, but I've seen,
and I'm just
I've seen these women that will talk about it, and their entire world is this. And I know you can argue the point of. They say, well, you don't understand. The music changed my life, and it did this and this. Okay, I have that kind of stuff in my life too. I have that song that might have brought me out of a depression or that person that helped me get through. But guess what? I still move on in my life. Do I love Star Wars? Absolutely. I have an entire freaking room dedicated it. But
2 rooms.
If I
3.
2.5. Because my office isn't Star Wars. It's a little bit. It's my comic and everything. But I have all these things that I love. But how many times a day do I talk to you about Star Wars?
No,
I rarely mention it.
There are those people.
Yeah,
OMG.
The only reason I might talk a lot about comics or something is because I'm dealing with a lot of comic stuff right now. But in general, I'm not always coming to you like, Oh my God, I got to tell you about the latest Spider-Man. I don't understand. I've never understood.
Fanaticism and hero worship and idolization of other people is very perturbing.
And the other aspect of people with it bothers me more when I see an adult person that talks about going to see somebody in a movie and they refer to them as their wifey or their husband, or I'm going to see there's somebody I know, they're
my
like
future wife.
They're big Timothy Chalamet fans. They're like watching my husband on big screen, watching Dune 2, and I'm like, you're 40. Calm down. And these guys, and you'll know who I'm talking about, will post stuff about like a picture of a girl and like my future wife, and oh my God, I love her so much, and she's this a pretty young thing, and PYTs and all these things, and I'm like, that's why you're alone. It's like, stop being weird and creepy. It's just like,
oh, Lord.
I'm all for fandom. I'm a biggest nerd, geek, whatever you want to call. I love people fandom. I love people's passion for stuff, but you got to have a separate life from your fandom and your life.
I'm trying to think, when did I ever fangirl? Probably when I met Buffy.
The only time I've ever seen
start a fight about that.
Well, that was a line fight. That wasn't even a Buffy fight.
Lord.
You got teary-eyed meeting Buffy.
I did.
And you got a little bit choked up.
Mm.
But I think that was just because it was more of an overwhelming feeling that you would never thought you'd ever see.
No, never.
And especially at a Star Wars convention.
Right? And then I have her, the baby, our granddaughter, she's like, who dat? I'm like, that's Buffy. She's like, who Buffy? I'm like, it's Buffy. So I can't wait until she's older and we can watch Buffy when she's a teenager.
The only one she's allowed to watch when the cheerleader comes, because I know when I kept seeing it.
You kept seeing that first episode.
Every time I tried to watch that show when it was on TV, that's the episode that was on. So I hated Buffy before it ever got to the point where I finally sat and watched them all.
Anyway, we digress. So next movie,
I don't know how Atlas got into that. But
next movie.
Atlas is on Netflix.
Yeah, check this last movie we're going to talk about.
I've been looking forward to this movie for so long.
People are really excited about this. I posted about it, and people are like, thumbs up, can't wait to see it, bloody bloody.
Yeah.
This is the newest movie with Bill Skarsgård, who you may know as Pennywise.
And soon, to piss everybody off, he is the new Crow.
I can see it.
I think the new Crow trailer looks fantastic. I
have no allegiance to Crow one way or the other.
And I don't either, but there's no way it will match what they did with the Brandon Lee Crow movie. That movie will be far superior to anyone that comes after it. But it's because it also stuck really close to the source material. It was different for its time.
The wrong thing.
Brandon Lee's iconic. In the new movie, it's not coming until next year now, but I don't think. But it's not trying to do that. It's doing more of a modern reimagining to the time period. So I'm all here. I'm here for it. They probably should have not made it Eric Draven. If they made it a different person, it probably would have connected better with people. But whatever. People also.
When does that one come out?
It was this year, but I think it got bumped to next year for whatever reason.
Does what's his name have anything to do with it anymore?
What? James Lamore?
James?
Well, he doesn't own the rights.
He does not anymore?
Not the film rights. So he can't. He's usually still involved. That movie has been in production through a lot of directors and actors. Bradley Cooper was going to play it at one point.
Oh, wow.
Jason Momoa was going to play it at one point. I forgot who the other person was. And they even like.
They have him listed as a writer. James is on there.
Well, it's because he wrote the books. So he's immediately going to be involved.
Gotcha.
So he was involved. I don't think he was involved in this version, but he was involved with the one I think that with Bradley Cooper and Momoa at one point.
Wow.
But anyway.
Who knows? Okay.
James Lamar is the creator, a friend of mine.
Yeah, we know.
Anyway, but we'll talk about that when it actually comes out. So we're talking about Boy Kills World. That is a...
How would we describe it?
I guess a post-apocalyptic kind of world.
Let's see what it says.
It's a dynasty kind of thing, and it's like I think I posted somewhere, it's kind of like a video game mashed into The Purge meets The Hunger Games meets just insanity.
Yeah, and it is kind of a weird
dystopian
future where there's one family that rules the entire city or wherever they're at, right?
Yeah, and they do this thing called the culling, which is basically they randomly pick people and or families, and then it's not so much for them to fight for their lives. They're really just going to kill them.
They're going to get killed, but they broadcast it publicly on TV. And it started out Whereas since this one family was in power, anyone that went against the family, they would round everybody up once a year and kill them.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
I was having
their enemies.
I was having some issues hearing it because they sent me a screening link. There's no subtitles, and some of the sound mixing, and it could have been the transition of sometimes the screening links do that. I couldn't hear some of the stuff they were saying.
Yeah, so it was any of their enemies they would kill. But eventually they ran out of people, so they just started picking people at random. And they would kill a dozen people every year on TV. The funniest thing is that the killings were sponsored by the breakfast cereal.
Yeah.
So
this one follows this character, Boy, who was a survivor, and he is taken under by
a shaman.
Yeah.
Takes care of him.
He's played by Yayan Ruyan.
And he teaches him
which
to fight.
is the guy from The Raid, who is always awesome. He's such as master training him to fight, shoot, do anything to prepare for his vengeance.
Yes.
Now, due to some situations, the boy is a mute. And he's also, is he deaf?
He's deaf and mute.
At least partially deaf, and he's mute. And so he has Bill, is it Bill? Yeah, Bill Skarsgård doesn't speak in the whole movie.
Mm-mm.
He has an inner voice, which is sounds like a video game.
Yes.
Or a movie phone.
Yes, Mr. Movie Phone is his voice.
And it's H. John Benjamin, I think is his name.
Is the voice?
Does the voice who is Bob from Bob's Burgers. And
this guy. Yeah.
He does the voice, and it's fantastic.
He's like, I'm going to go do this now.
It is. It's normally voiceovers annoy me. But this was so good.
It was so
fun. Anyway, so he's basically going for vengeance, and then you have a bunch of wacky characters. So what did you think?
I really liked this movie.
The movie is so awesome.
It is so good. There's a lot of good action and fights.
Blood galore.
Blood and stuff. And I think one of my favorite parts is you see throughout the city, like the higher class people, the family and that level of society, they all are like puffing this stuff, which is some sort of a drug. He ends up fighting that one guy, and the one guy's like, and he comes back,
right?
And he loses a limb or whatever. And he's like, he comes back again. I'm like, this crazy guy on drugs won't die. That guy, whoever he is awesome too.
Yeah.
All the action's good.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård's good. I don't know how much of his own stuff he did.
Well, that was one thing I was going to say is looking at him in this movie.
Wow. That's
reminded me of watching Christian Bale in Equilibrium and then preparing to see him as Batman, now seeing him as the Crow.
That's what I'm saying. It makes me be okay with that.
Seeing them shift into that action persona, and his build looks kind of like Brandon Lee. He's way taller.
He's taller and
he's
thinner
lean,
and he's lean muscle.
Yeah, he's lean muscle. I could see him as a Spider-Man too if he ever played something like that. But
amazing.
The movie is fantastic. I love this movie.
I loved it.
My only major issue is the ending, but it was more of what I think would have been a better ending. The ending is fine. It doesn't hurt the movie. It's not a bad ending or anything like that. I just saw an opportunity of there's a big twist in the film that you might or might not see coming, but either way, I thought it was handled well enough that. There's actually a handful of twists as it unfolds.
Yeah.
Because it goes from just being a straight popcorn blood fest, vengeance flick, and some laughs and having a good time to wait a minute, everything we think we know is not what we know, and people we don't think who they are not who they are necessarily are, and there's some great twists and stuff. There's just an ending that I think would have fed better to what was revealed, and I think it would have had a bigger impact, but it was just my own personal opinion.
Okay, I went and looked it up. It says he did a lot of training. So he did boxing, taekwondo, Muay Thai. Obviously, you can see it, especially with the guy from The Raid. And
he's not Muay Thai, but okay.
Well, no, but it looked like, is he not? What does he do?
He's Indonesia's Pencak Silat.
Oh, shoot. Well, anyways, we need to go there so you can do Pencak Silat.
I wanted to. You were supposed to be going to Indonesia for one of the.
We didn't.
I think your previous job.
Yeah.
And I had already found a Pencak Silat place to train at, and then
go.
you ended up leaving that job, and we didn't go.
Sorry. Well,
you ruined my dreams.
He did Muay Thai. He did all this stuff. He obviously they said he got shredded.
Yeah. Oh, he is kind of.
That he did do as much as his own stunt as they would let him do. He did as much as he could. And I'm telling you, this guy's all over the place.
The movie is fantastic.
Really
it is everything. Like, it's hilarious. It's hyper violent to almost like ridiculous levels.
Yeah, this man is amazing.
Yes, Yayan.
But I'm going to tell you right now.
In Indonesia?
Born in
West Java.
Tasmania, West Java.
Yeah, see, Pencak Silat.
You're right.
I know. What do you think? What do you mean?
I know.
Why would you act surprised that I know what a martial artist?
You know all your martial artists.
I know that they train in. Do the research.
I know you know. But I'm just telling you right now, the most impressive thing about this man and what I love and what makes me feel better about life is he did the entire thing in flip-flops. He's fighting in flip-flops, never loses a shoe. He's kicking, jumping, walking through rocks and dirt and everything, never loses a flop.
Well, in honor of you, because I know you don't.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, flops. This is the only thing I wear all the time. Whatever.
In honor of you, because I know you don't read my reviews, I did write in here a line that says, they pull no punches, quite literally letting the blood and bullets fly.
Yes.
As bodies are decimated all around. You name it, and they brought it in the mix for the fights,
Sure
including
did.
a cheese grater, flip-flop, and
Yes.
everything in between.
Yes.
So I wrote it just for
that
you.
cheese grater fight, now I know if anyone breaks into the house, I'm going to attack you with a cheese grater.
You should already known how to flip-flop fight. You're Hispanic, because I got the
Oh, I
chocolate.
do. I get your chocolate right here. And be like, what?
But to me, I like it's some of the visual style they shot the fights in. Like they shot them, and I see more and more filmmakers doing this when they're really people that are heavily focused on really nailing the action, where they borrow from a lot of the old kung fu type flicks where somebody hits somebody, say they're going to hit them in an injury they already have, and they really focus on that one knuckle popping up, so that one knuckle hit. So there's like a moment in there where he's like doing his stance and he backs out of his own flip-flop and he pushes his toes into like a leg injury. And then you see the foot bend where his toes go deeper, and then he puts a flip-flop back on and kicks you.
I think the other thing that I really appreciate about this movie, we noticed this, and I don't know if other people do. You know how sometimes when people aren't as adept at action or the fighting, it's slower and it's very like, this thing is moving. So this kid, I mean, the other guy obviously is trained for a long, long time. But this guy, I mean, to be able to pull this off, the fights were
I would be more interested and wonder to see
how
much of the fighting what's her face did. Jessica Roth.
Oh.
Because they were smart with that one, because she's got this motorcycle helmet thing all the time, so anybody could have played her.
Yeah.
And then only need her because
that's what I was wondering, if it was like
she's the same person, which we didn't realize about halfway through. She was the same one that's the star of Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really look like her at first. But it's cool because they use the little digital screen, and they bring in one of the guys that's in there with him is the Star Warrior. And then you have the Old Spice guy. They're a crazy duo.
He is so fun.
Yeah, the movie it's surprisingly hilarious. It's really, really bloody, but so over the top bloody, and the fight's not in like slasher film way, but it's so much it's almost laughable on purpose. It does not pull any punches. Again, it could have been trimmed down a little bit, I'm sure, with some of the slower parts, but I still loved it. I love this movie.
I thought it was really good.
It's for sure on my list for this year.
Yeah, it's great. Absolutely great.
This movie I will in fact watch numerous times.
I'm gonna have to go watch this whole training thing. No, they show her doing some of the fights.
Well, I hadn't looked into it yet.
Yeah, I hadn't either. I hadn't even thought about it because I was just so like.
I have no doubt she did some of it, like had done something, but I didn't know. Because they set it up.
Yeah, especially it could have been a stunt double.
Yeah, because they could have easily brought in Heidi Moneymaker or Chloe Bruce to do a lot of this stuff. So
who knows?
Especially when she did the scorpion kick, Cynthia Rothrock.
Yes.
Made famous. So I'm pretty sure that was probably not her.
That was probably not, but that's okay.
Anyway, the movie is excellent. Boy Kills World. It's already in theaters. It's on digital now, so you can check it out. I went off on a wild tangent and said, "Hey, any chance you can send me a link?" And they did. I was super excited.
Really, really good. Really.
What else we got? Is that it?
That's it, my love.
All right. So we're talking about giveaways.
Giving away.
I think I don't know if all these run here last.
No, what's coming out?
We do giveaways first, don't we? Oh, okay. I don't know what the root of it. Okay. So most of what's coming out this week, there's not a ton of I think brand new stuff. It's a lot of older stuff. Hold on, I'm looking at one thing real quick while I'm sitting here. It's a lot of re-releases, 4K releases, things like that. Oh. That's June 11th. Okay, so that's not this week. So we got Harvey Keitel's Bad Lieutenant, which is a great cop flick coming out in 4K. Platoon is getting a limited edition steelbook 4K.
Oh, wow.
Glory with Morgan Freeman and Matthew Broderick is getting the 4K release. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, movie, one of my all-time favorite movies. I love that movie with Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro. It's getting a release from the Criterion Collection. It looks like they're releasing Back to the Future, the trilogy on 4K. I thought that was but I could be just making crap up. What else we got? Founders Day, which is a slasher flick that I think it was one I wanted to see, but I don't think we ever watched. It looks like it's hitting Blu-ray. Something called Death Machine. It's got Brad Dourif in it, so it's Chucky himself. A movie called Lost Souls. Rango looks like it's getting a 4K release. That's pretty much it. It's a few new stuff, new things, but a lot of older films getting re-released.
Okay. Coming out on the line or at theaters, Tuesday this week, June 4th, Video Demand and Digital movie called Love Kills.
Love Kills!
It's about this girl, Leah, who has a boyfriend named Milo, but suddenly Leah finds herself being attracted to her roommate, Brianna.
Oh,
so
happen every time.
Milo comes in and finds the girls cheating, and craziness ensues. Coming to Disney Plus, just for you, my babe, this week, the new series, The Acolyte.
So excited.
It is a Star Wars series. Basically, it says an investigation into the shocking crime spree pits a respected Jedi master against the dangerous warrior from his past.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, this is in the High Republic era.
Oh,
so this
okay,
is prequel
good.
stuff.
Love it.
And it's pretty heavily following more Sith. But
Okay.
there's a ton of Jedis. And for the first time ever on screen, we are going to get a Wookiee Jedi.
Yes.
Played by Jonas, who took over as
Oh,
Chewbacca.
That's nice. Okay.
So
that'll be good.
I'll show you. If you'd like to
Is
see
it one with the ponytail?
I will show you
I'm
exactly what he looks
because
like.
if we're in High Republic, then everyone's at the Jedi Temple.
His name is Kelnaka.
So they're at the Jedi Temple and all that kind
And
of
he
stuff.
says,
running.
I'll really tell you really
Okay.
quick the characters. Kelnaka is a Wookiee Jedi master, has sequestered himself in the tangled jungles of Kofar. He's a loner who lives a solitary life.
Oh, okay.
Then we have Sol, who's like, I think, the main guy. Master's wise, highly respected Jedi master, strong in the ways of the Force, still a stalwart, his deep sense of compassion, and will defend those who cannot defend themselves. He is a powerful warrior with intense emotions that he uses his Jedi training to balance.
Okay.
If you ever seen any of the clips in this movie, this show, looks like a fantastic martial arts series.
I'm excited.
May, who seems to be the dark side person, a mysterious young woman with a tragic past, gets swept up into a sinister mystery one that puts her in the center of a conflict of unexpected ways. She's determined to exact revenge on those who wronged her and a little to stop her in her quest. Then we have Jackie Lawn, who is played by the young lady that played X-23 in Logan.
Oh, she's a big girl now,
she's
right?
grown now,
Teenager.
yes. Skilled and studious Padawan learner, Jackie Lawn shows, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, so we won't know
We'll
until
find
shows. Shows great promise in her path to becoming a Jedi Knight. The Padawan apprentice to Master Sol is young, but she projects calm and conducts herself with maturity. And I believe lastly is Indara, who is played by Trinity herself from The Matrix.
Wow, I haven't seen her in a
Master
while.
Indara is a Jedi master of great physical and mental skills. She has a very badass fight scene that I've seen in one of the little scene leaks, that it's her and May fighting in a tavern that looks like something out of like a Jet Li, Jackie Chan kung fu movie. She is exacting control of her force abilities, executing a sense of command and authority with just her presence. Though she does not seek combat, she is skilled enough to engage on her own terms. Engage. And that's it.
All right. And I posted a link to all of you were just sharing the character posters. I posted a link here. Check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com.
And the trailers up there and everything else.
All right. Also coming out this week on Video Demand and Digital, a movie called Boomtown. It's an investigator discovers a secret in a North Dakota oil town. North Dakota. Also coming out, a movie called Reunited. It's 6 best friends from college. They're now in their 40s. They're coming back for their 25th reunion. And secrets will be revealed.
Never good.
The Netflix movie this week coming out on Wednesday is called Under Paris. A brilliant scientist discovers that there is a large shark swimming there in the river. Is it shark season already? Huh. Okay.
It's always shark season in the
Coming
movies.
out Thursday. I hope we get to see this on Video Demand and Digital. It's a new horror film
I would have gotten it for
called
you. I've
The
ignored it.
Hanged Man.
I've ignored it.
Because it's people go camping. Here we go again. These people go camping, and suddenly a bloodthirsty, murderous demon called the Hangman is out there trying to get them. Also on Video on Demand and Digital, movie called On the Ridge. This is a documentary about the Oglala Lakota people of Pine Ridge, and I apologize, I probably said it right. but it's a documentary about the Lakota people, their customs, trying to enact positive change on the reservation. So I think it's going to be really good. Coming out to Max, a new movie called Am I Okay?
No, you're not.
It's what's her name? Dakota Johnson.
Oh.
And it's about just these friends who discover some secret about each other, and now they have to deal with that. Coming out to Netflix, this new animated movie. It says the most anticipated anime movie of the year, Baki Hanma versus Kenga Ashura. It's a martial arts anime crossover.
Yeah.
So who knows? And coming to Peacock, a new documentary called Queer Planet. This is interesting. It looks at the LGBT community in the natural world, exploring sexuality
like
animals and natures and even plants and different things that, you know. And I'm like, that's a really
they
interesting
don't seem to connect like they should, but they do. And
that's an interesting way to look at the LGBTQ plus community right now during Pride Month. So that's interesting on Peacock. Coming out Friday to theaters. I know everyone is waiting for The School of Magical Animals Part 2.
I didn't know there was a Part 1.
So basically, the kids from The School of Magical Animals Part 1 are celebrating a musical anniversary in Part 2. And I think craziness ensues with the animals.
You haven't seen Part 1, have you?
I have not. But now that's the anniversary and they're having a musical extravaganza. Okay, so the one we're actually probably all waiting for, Bad Boys Ride or Die. This is the 4th movie in the installment. So again, Miami's finest, but this time people are after them.
And before everybody keeps complaining about it should have been called Bad Boy for Life, somebody even had Will Smith even posted a thing. It's like, we know we fucked up. He goes, but we also didn't know we were going to be doing another one. So it was kind of a thing. So
there's also a new movie dropping on Netflix on Friday. So they have 2 movies this week. It's called Hitman. It's this.
I've been hearing good things about this movie.
It's this guy who's a teacher, but he moonlights as a hitman.
But he's not a hitman. He moonlights as a fake hitman for the cops to entrap people trying to hire a hitman.
But then suddenly he's trying to help a girl, and he actually has to kind of become a real hitman. It says he has to kind of take on this false persona to save this girl. This may be near you. It's an expanded release. It's called Handling the Undead. We're in Oslo, and suddenly people start waking up from the dead, and people are like, well, maybe my loved one will come back to me. But you know, when people come back from the dead, they never come back the same. So that's going to be interesting. All this is limited. Oh, I love that movie.
It's a re-release?
Yes. Oh, I love it. I think that's it, because it's one of those, it's a real time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Are you going to tell them what you're even talking about?
No. It's the movie Run Lola Run. It's a re-release. It's from a long time ago. I don't even remember when. But it actually says, okay, you have 20 minutes to do this.
And she's trying to do something because her boyfriend's in trouble. And
yes,
so she's trying
but you're following the clock, and it's actual real time. It's like that movie with Johnny Depp.
I was working at a video store when that movie came out.
Yeah, it was such a good movie.
I remember seeing it on there.
But you're watching, and it's the actual number of minutes that she has to get to here and get to there.
Oh my God, that Johnny Depp movie was horrible.
In the Nick of Time? Because that was another one that's actually real time.
Yeah.
So I like it.
So was 24, which is good.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what's happening this week in the theaters.
Run Lola Run came out in 1998.
I loved that movie so much. I'm going to go watch it again. All right. Now tell me, babe, about the giveaways. What kind of good free stuff we got?
So we've got a few of them. First, we got Creation of the Gods, the one we talked about today, as well as some digital copies of Fall Guy. That will be disappearing this week. If you haven't checked it out already. And the digital copy also has an extended edition of Fall Guy with like 20 extra minutes.
Wow.
Then we also have Dune Part 2. Oh, that's what we didn't talk about real quick. So let's pause here. For those of you that have seen the show before, all 3 of you, you know that we were not huge fans of the first Dune movie. If you saw the show of me talking about Dune Part 2 when I saw it in theaters, I really enjoyed Part 2, and it kind of overall made me more interested in the world and actually kind of looking forward to seeing more in the future. And I kind of have a better appreciation for the first movie, all thanks to the second movie. She just now witnessed Part 2 herself. She initially had the same thoughts I had on the first movie.
Yeah.
So where are you at now?
I really enjoyed both of them. I went back. I think when we watched the first one, I must not have been paying attention.
You couldn't have, because it's funny. She was like, I had the subtitles and I was listening to this. So I understood the whole time. I was like, honey, we watched the subtitles the first time because the first time she watched it, we watched it at home I had saw the first one in theaters, did not have subtitles, and that's the only reason I remember this, because I remember when we were watching it at home, I was like, oh, that's why that was a big deal, because it wasn't visually on the screen. They explained something.
But this time I actually watched the movie, like paid attention. I wasn't doing anything else but just watching Dune, the first one. And I really enjoyed it. I got into it. I understood finally what was happening. I think I got lost the first time. And then part 2 is really good. There's actually something happening. There's some action. There's some good fights.
Two's where the action happens.
Yeah, I'm
one is the setup,
and it's like I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah.
Like, where's the next one? I have to watch 2 again.
Well, I think they're going to do Dune Messiah, but we also have a Dune TV series coming out. If you don't know,
I'm just really
so the entire world of Dune is very much like
really excited about it now.
Lord of the Rings, or what is that other show? Oh crap! I just went blank. What is that stupid show?
What is the stupid show?
You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
The freaking HBO series.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, where there's too many characters, sometimes you get lost in who's who.
I appreciate the subtitles just for that, so I can understand what they're saying about some of this tribe and these people and this house of whatever. Yeah, it's heavy.
So we have both become Dune converts.
I like it now.
I wouldn't sit and watch them.
I might tackle the novels.
Oh, good luck with that.
We'll
Those things
see.
are huge. The first two movies are just one novel.
I know.
So anyway,
I'm gonna see.
also we have copies of the Ocean's Trilogy on 4K, as well as American Sniper on 4K, and a newer one, Blind War, which it doesn't come out till June 11th. So we'll be talking about that on the show once we get a little bit closer.
All right. Well, that's it for us, friends. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week.